Good evening. Welcome. Mr. Joseph. Good evening. Nice to have you. Nice to have you here. Um, Good evening, Billionaire Light Club. Like that name. Like the name. Billionaire. Anything billionaire, count me in. I'm interested. Get me involved. Good evening, everyone, and happy new week to you all. Please, if you join us, say hello so that we know that you are here. And also do let me know where you're watching from. Please let the people in our community know that we are live. Let the people in the hub know that we are live so that we can have a fuller house. And also feel free to share the link to this broadcast to your friend somewhere. Someone you know, someone you care about, so that they can join us to learn as well. All right. So my notes are here. So I hope you also have your notes. Yeah, Billionaire Light Club is watching all the way from Abuja. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Joseph. I know you're from Lagos. Home base. Well done. Invite your friends, invite your enemies, invite your yard people to the broadcast, so that we can learn. Also, notify the people in the community that we are already live. Okay. So we've been discussing. Let me see if I can even clip this thing on my clothes, so I can be able to use my hands. Yo. All right. So I hope you can still hear me. Let me know, confirm that you can still hear me in the comment section. Okay. So we've been looking at the intentional design protocol. We've been looking at the intentional wealth design protocol, and it has been an interesting journey so far as we are trying to establish our identity. Please let me confirm that you can still hear me, please. So I'll be sure. Oh, okay, fine. So as we have been trying to establish our identity as the wealthy professionals, and also we've looked at what that means. We've looked at what it means to be a professional. We've looked at who the wealthy professionals are. We said that these are people who are committed to purpose, impact, and wealth, right? And we moved ahead to look at what it means to be a professional. I would say that a professional is a person who is committed to bringing excellence to his life and his divine expression in this world. Okay, so you bring excellence. We went ahead to define what excellence is, and we said that excellence is about you. We said that excellence is about you doing your best with what you have and what you know in the moment. And if you have to do it again tomorrow, you will do it better. Why? Because you must have grown, you have learned, you have gotten better. We are committed to bringing excellence. We are committed to bringing our best at all times to our divine expression. And why are we looking at that? Because we said that wealth comes in 5 dimensions. We have the 5 zones of wealth. And we said that the first zone of wealth is your spiritual wealth. Okay. And when it comes to your spiritual wealth, which is part of what we'll start talking about today, there are 4 levels to it. The key level of your spiritual wealth is about your purpose. Why are you here? You're not here by accident. You didn't just emerge. There is a reason why you are here. The question is, how do you identify why you are here? How do you live and work in the purpose of why you are here? And more importantly, how do you make the best out of it? Because you are actually supposed to make the best out of your purpose, which simply means that you're supposed to live your purpose, make others better, while also making yourself better in the process. Okay? So we looked at all of that. And today we are moving to something else. And that talks about the key laws, right? The key laws of the intentional wealth advantage system. The key laws of the intentional wealth advantage system. And these laws, there are about 10 of them, okay? There are about 10 of them, but in today's class, I am going to just expand on four of them, and how you can apply them, how you can begin to think around them, and how you can begin to apply them in your life to improve your position, okay? So, right now, feel free to share the link to this video to your friends so that they can join us. Let the people in the community know that we are live and invite people to join us so we can have a fuller house. Okay. So one thing you need to understand is that life works with laws. Okay. Life works with laws. There are principles and there are laws guiding the principles. Now, if you are able to work within the principles, obeying the laws guiding the principles, you will get the results that the principle promises, whether you are aware of it or not. What that means is that if you are a person who understands that there are principles to a certain thing, and of course, every principle has laws guiding that principle. It is the laws that help make the principle a principle in the first place. Now, when you obey the laws and live and act and perform within the principles will produce a result for you. And we have also gone ahead to establish that even when you're not aware of a particular principle, and for some reason you are able to live within the principles of, you're able to obey the laws of that principle, you will reap the reward of the principle. At the same time, if you don't know that there is a principle and that there are laws guiding a particular principle, and you unknowingly offend the laws guiding that particular principle, you will also reap the punishment. That is why we say in law that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. And that does not just apply to your, to the laws of your country. It applies to the laws of life. If you are ignorant of a particular law, it does not mean that the law will not apply to you. It does not mean that you will not reap the benefit of the law if you are on the right side of it. And it also does not mean that you will not get the punishment of the law if you are on the wrong side of it, right? So people sometimes ask the question, oh, this person does not believe in God. Oh, this person is not a Christian. Oh, this person is not a, whatever. But the person has money. The person is wealthy. The person has influence. The person is rich. Okay? The simple answer to that is that you don't need to know God to live within the principles that he has put in place. And whether you know God or not, if you live within the principles that God has established, you're definitely going to be rewarded. And if you know God all you can, but you don't live and operate within the principles of God, you're going to be punished. That's why the Bible says that the way for you to show that Jesus said, the way to demonstrate that you love me, the way to show that you love me is to keep my commandment. He said, if you love me, do what? Keep my commandment, keep my laws. So somebody, and then there was an illustration in the Bible where he talked about a father who gave his two children instruction. He told one to go and do something. That one said, no, I'm not going to do it. Then he told the other one, go and do the same thing. The other one said, okay, you know what? I am going to do it. Then eventually, the one that said he was going to do it never got to do it. And the one that said I was not going to do it went ahead to do it. The Bible says, who was the obedient one? It was the one that eventually went to do the work, because the demonstration of love and acceptance and commitment is action. So whether you believe in God or not, so long as you do what God requires, you're going to get the benefits of God's benevolence. And if you profess Christ every day, you profess God every day, you say you're a believer, but you don't obey the laws, okay, you are definitely going to suffer. So what are the laws? Okay, the first law is the law of entropy, right? The law of entropy. I'm sure you know about this in physics, for those of you who are science students. The law of entropy, okay? The law of entropy says that any aspect of your life that you do not intentionally design, any aspect of your life that you do not intentionally work on, is going to advance towards destruction. Any aspect of your life that you don't intentionally work on, any aspect of your life that you don't intentionally design, right, as we have been discussing previously, is going to advance towards decay. Whatsoever you are not tending to, you are going to lose. Whatever you are not nourishing, whatever you are not investing in, is going to go bad. And this is very instructive because it even goes ahead to expand the idea that when a good thing is not attended to, it will spoil and become bad, right? And when a bad thing is not mended, it will get worse. So the fact that something is good right now does not mean that it's going to keep being good if you don't intentionally maintain it and nurture it to become better. So the fact that a particular aspect of your life is working right now, the fact that your finances are good, the fact that your relationship is good, the fact that you're healthy, if you don't intentionally invest in improving these things, they are going to get bad with time. And if there is an aspect of your life that is bad currently, if you don't intentionally work on it, if you don't intentionally design it, if you don't intentionally begin to look for how you can improve it, it is going to get worse. So if you have a zone, any of your wealth zones that is not performing appropriately, and you just decide to ignore it, right? You decide to bury your head in the sand, saying things like, oh, God will take care of it. Oh, it will be well. And you're not making any consistent effort in improving that aspect of your life. What is happening is that aspect of your life is going to get worse, right? So the summary of the law of entropy is that any aspect of your life you don't work on is going to get weaker and worse. Any aspect of your life you don't work on is going to get weaker and worse. And any aspect of your life you work on is going to get better and stronger. So the question is, are you obeying the law of entropy? What are the systems that you have in place to help nourish and nurture your soul, to help nourish and nurture the spiritual side of your existence? What are the activities, right? What are the protocols? What are the systems, behaviors, rules that you have in place that help you to nurture the financial aspect of your life? What are the things that you have to help you nurture the fitness aspect of your the fitness zone of your world distinctions? Okay, how are you nurturing your relationship? What are the protocols that you have in place to nurture your relationship? Because sometimes people who have been married for for some years, and then they just wake up one day and say they are no longer interested in each other, or they say that, oh, they're no longer attracted to you. The question is, what went wrong, right? And when did it start going wrong? And what was done when things started going wrong? Because people don't just wake up one day and suddenly they don't like each other, right? It's a gradual thing, a gradual process that nobody paid attention to. So that aspect of their lives got weaker and weaker until it became worse, right? So you need to look at your life, look at your spiritual zone, look at your relationship zone, look at your fitness zone, look at your finance zone, look at your wisdom zone. We have already given the context of what these zones are all about. Look at each and every one of these zones and ask yourself, what are the protocols, right? What are the rules? What are the activities? What are the behaviors that I have in place to help me nurture these aspects of my life, right? So, for example, so fitness talks about your physical and mental fitness, right? For my physical fitness, there are some rules I have. Okay, there are some rules I have, and there are some activities that I also have. For example, I don't eat. I have my last meal every day around 6. Worst case scenario, 7, I have had my last meal for the day. And I have my first meal every day around 1 p.m. Right? That is a rule for me, that I don't eat anything till around 1 p.m. And I eat my last meal latest by 7 p.m. I am done. Right? it is a rule for me. It's a rule that I follow. Okay. One of the other rules is that when I wake up in the morning, I must drink about 2 glasses of water. One of the first things I do immediately I open my eyes is to drink about 2 glasses of water, right? These are routines. Okay. I take sunlight. I have a breathing system that I intentionally practice every day. Okay. I have a workout system that I intentionally practice every day. These are all routines that help me to maintain my health. It does not mean that I am sick. It does not mean that, that I am planning for me to fall ill. I am just using those routines to maintain my physical fitness. Okay. My mental fitness, I have a rule that if I must eat today, I must also read today. There is no way I would eat. There is no way it is appropriate for me to eat to feed my body without me also eating to feed my mind. Okay, it's a rule. It's a rule that I don't listen to news. Okay, I don't listen to news. Worst case scenario, I will read about it, but I don't sit down and listen to news or watch news. No, I don't do that. Okay, the only news I watch is business news. I don't watch news. Why? Because it corrupts my mental. It's not a good mental diet. You will always hear about things that you don't want to hear about, and because of that, I don't indulge. Right? These are all rules. So you have rules. You must have rules. You must have routines. You must have activities that help you to keep maintaining and nourishing each of your world zones. So the same thing applies to your spiritual zone. I have some spiritual practices I do regularly. Right? I have some financial practices that I do often. I have one of my mentors who he told us that he does not eat every single day, that he does not eat until he has made money. Imagine that, being that brutal with yourself. He said he does not eat anything until he has made money. So merely he wakes up in the morning, one of the key things he will do is to follow up on clients, make offers, check out on his business, check the sales pipeline. He has so many products that are going on, so that he must make a sale fast. The earlier he makes a sale, the earlier he can eat, because he has it as a standing rule that he must make money before he eats. He believes that if he keeps eating without making money, he's going to be without money one day and he will not be able to eat. So because of that, he must first of all consistently ensure that he makes money before he eats. That is his own philosophy, right? I don't do that. But then that tells you that people have some crazy routines that help them to nurture each zone of their life. So that's the law of entropy. You must understand that any aspect of your life you don't intentionally work on is going to advance towards decay. Okay? Any aspect of your life that you're not intentionally developing is going to get worse, is going to get weaker, and it's going to get worse with time. And any aspect of your life that you intentionally tend to, any aspect of your life that you intentionally work on, is going to get stronger and it's going to get better. Right? That's the first one. The second one is the law of inertia. Right? The law of inertia. The law of inertia says that nothing works until you work it. Right? It says that nothing works until force is applied to it. Okay? Nothing works until force is what? Applied to it. So, for any aspect of your life to work, okay, it doesn't just magically resurrect. No aspect of your life magically resurrects. You must apply force, right? You must apply force. Say that an object remains in a state of rest, right? An object remains in a state of rest until a higher force is applied to it. So, any aspect of your life that is not working right now is going to remain dead until a higher force is applied. So, if the financial aspect of your life is not working, it does not mean that you're not doing something. It does not mean that you're not trying. It simply means that you need more force in that area of your life. And one thing you have to understand is that different areas of our life requires different types of force per time. Right? So you need to ask yourself, which area of my life right now requires more force. Some of you, your spiritual life is good, right? Some of you, your relationship life is good. Some of you, your financial life is good. Some of you, your wisdom life is good. It's maybe just one or two areas that you need to apply more force in, right? You need to apply more force in those areas that are weaker so that they can come up, and then you have a more stable and balanced life. Because if you leave this thing to chance, right? If you're just believing that, oh, you know, this thing will sort itself, oh, one day everything will be all right, and you're not applying force, right? You're not applying force, you're going to find yourself in a bad place. Remember that at every point in time, society is applying force on you, right? At every point in time, society is applying force on you. Situations are applying forces on you. Environments are applying forces on you. So for you, and those forces are forces that are pulling you down, right? The forces that these factors are applying on you are pulling you down, and you want to go up. So the question is, how do you conquer the forces that are pulling you down and go up? Is that you have to exert a force that is greater than the forces that are pulling you down. That's what it means. You have to apply greater force, right? That exceeds the forces that are trying to pull you down, so you can be able to pull yourself up. So you must find out, what are the forces that are pulling me down in my spiritual life? What are the forces that are pulling me down in my relationship life? What are the forces that are pulling me down in my finances? What are the forces that are pulling me down, right? Probably you have bad money habits. Okay, you have bad money habits. You don't have a saving system. You don't have an investment. You're not making enough money, right? You're not exerting your skill, and probably why you're not making enough money is because you don't have market valuable skills. You don't have a lot of valuable skills. So because of that, the financial zone of your life is being pulled down by your lack of skill, by your lack of expertise, because you're not earning so much. What do you do in that instant? It is to upgrade your skill such that you can afford to begin to pull yourself up. So that's what the law of inertia says. Then the other one is energy. Okay, the law of applied energy. Okay, what is energy? Energy is the ability to get things done. That's what energy is. According to physics, energy is the ability to get things done, ability to do work. That is energy. There is something that you're going to, I want you to observe this. I want you to observe this. There is no successful person that you know. There is no successful person that you know that does not have energy. Every successful person that you will come in contact with must have this bubbling energy. They have this energy that fills the room when they enter. They are always active, right? They are always, some of them are so active that they don't even know how to relax. They have to force themselves to shut down to relax. Day in, day out, week in, week out, they are actively engaged. That is one of the traits that you will see with successful people. They have energy. They have energy. When you bring a successful person and a non-successful person in the same room, you will see the difference in their energy. The difference will be in the way they talk. They talk fast. They don't have time to waste. The way they talk to, the way they meet people fast. The way they get things done fast. They don't like all those wasting time. Fast. Right. Even the way they walk. The way they walk. Somebody once said that somebody conducted an experiment to the experiment was, looking at people on the walkway and interviewing them to find out their net worth and all of that, right? And what he found out is that those people who had faster pace in a walkway, those people who had faster pace had a higher net worth than those people who did not have faster pace. What it means is that if you go to the roadside now and you're watching people, right, you will see some people who are paced up, who are, in a hurry to get to where they're going to. Then you see some other people that are just strolling as if they have nothing to, they're just, when you check them out, those guys who are fast paced are more successful in their career, in their finances, in so many aspects of their life than those people who are just laid back. Energy is important. Energy is important. So you must do things, right, that give you energy. You must work on your energy. If you have to take vitamins to keep yourself sharp, do that. You have to sleep well, right? Because that helps to fuel your energy. When you're on the move, remain on the move. Don't do things with people who are slow, people who are sluggish. If you're doing something, get to it fast, right? That is how to fuel your energy. Go to the gym, work out, right? When you work out, you have a lot of energy activation in your system because you need energy. Ability to get things done is a law that you must obey. If you cannot get things done, if you don't have the ability to move fast, you're going to lose opportunities, right? You're going to lose opportunities. So many aspects of your life will not work properly if you are not the kind of person that quickly gets things done. There was a picture I saw some time ago. It was a picture of a dog that the dog, it was the picture of the skeleton of a dog. And what they wrote is, this is the state of the patient dog. That adage in Africa or in Nigeria, I don't know where it came from, that says the patient dog eats the fattest bone, right? So that's what they were trying to talk about there. They showed the picture of the skeleton of the dog. The dog was obviously waiting by the corner and had waited and died and dried up. And then they wrote, this is the state of the patient dog. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be patient. It doesn't mean you shouldn't wait for things. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't wait things out, but it simply means that whatsoever you want to do it fast. That's what Jesus said. Jesus said, whatsoever it is that you want to do it what? Quickly. It's very important. So you need to become a person that has energy. Train for energy, right? When you're talking, why are you talking and then you're drawing? I don't know whether you've had this experience where there are some people you listen to, right? It seems as if they are drawing your energy to talk. They are so sluggish in their words that before they bring out a word out, you're spending so much energy to even flow in the conversation with them. Those are called energy vampires. There are people you meet, you have interaction with them, you have things to do with them. Because of their sluggishness, by the time you're done dealing with them, you feel so used and so tired and so out, right? That is not how it should be. You should be a person of energy and work with people that have energy. Anybody that doesn't have energy, just let the person go out of your space, because the person is going to cost you progress, because you need the law of energy to work in your favor. The last law that I'm going to talk about tonight is the law of compounding of efforts, right? The law of compounding of efforts. Listen, whatsoever you do or whatsoever you are not doing is compounding. I'll tell you that again. Whatsoever you do or whatsoever you are not doing is compounding. So things are always compounding either in your favor or against you. Things are always compounding either in your favor or against you. If you intentionally design activities and behaviors that help you make progress, things will compound in your favor. But if you don't intentionally design these things or you just leave them to chance, things will compound against you. But what you must understand is that at every point in time, things are compounding, right? Things are compounding. At every point in time, things are compounding. Things are either compounding in your favor or they are compounding against you. There is just no two ways about it. My wife has this saying that if you want to do something, don't say the year. How does she even say? She say, something like, if you want to do something, don't look at the year and say, oh, it is too long, because the year will still come whether you do it or not. Very, very instructive, right? If you want to do something, go ahead and do it. Don't say, oh, it's too long, because whether you do it or not, the years will still compound and get there. For example, you want to do PhD now. Maybe you want to go back to school and say you want to do a PhD, right? You say it's too long. It's 4 years. I mean, I don't have 4 years to go to school and get a PhD. You don't have 4 years to. But the question is whether you do it or not. Will the 4 years still come? Yes, the 4 years will come. But the thing is that if you don't do it, the 4 years will come without the results. If you do it, the 4 years will come with the results. So which one do you want? That's something you should be asking yourself, right? You want to start something, say, they said this thing will take time. Oh, yes, it's going to take time. But if you start it and engage in it and keep learning about it and keep improving as you go on, what's going to happen is that with time, this thing is going to compound in your favor, because time always compounds, right? But if you choose not to, start it, if you choose not to engage, if you choose not to keep moving ahead, keep pushing yourself forward, the time is still going to compound, because the time is still going to arrive, but it's just going to arrive empty for you. There won't be any result in it. So the question is, are you going to allow the law of compounding of efforts to work in your favor or to work against you? Because the truth is, they are called laws because they are always there, whether you acknowledge them or not. That's why they are called laws, right? They are there, whether you know that they are there or not. You will find out when you break them. You find out when you break them. Just like you come into a country and then you don't, there are some laws that are there that in fact, there are some laws in Nigeria that you will never know they exist until you break the laws. It is when you break the laws that you will now know that, so there's even a law against this thing. Wow. So the better thing for you is to always be on the good side of the law. The same thing applies to life as well, right? Make sure that you're building yourself up, you're building capacity, you're developing yourself in such a way that in every area of your life is compounding, or time is compounding, or your efforts are compounding in your favor. The things you plant today are the things you're going to reap tomorrow. The things you plant today are the things you're going to reap tomorrow. If you don't plant anything today, you're still planting something, and that something is nothing. So tomorrow, you're going to reap something called what? Nothing, because you planted nothing today. And if you keep planting effort, contribution, value today, tomorrow, right, no matter how long that tomorrow might be, you are definitely going to eat something, the fruit of your labor, right? The fruit of your contribution, the fruit of your effort. So you should always make sure, right, that no matter what be the situation, you are making effort in the right direction. That's why I tell people that, when you choose a thing, stay on it. Stay on it. I am the kind of a person that if I choose something, I'm going to stay on it, man. Okay? Because the thing must work, or it will lead me to something that will work. That's the rule for me. If I choose something, this thing that I've chosen must work, or it will lead me to something else that will work. Because there is no need for me to put my time and my energy in something and then leave it halfway when it has not produced result for me, or it has not led me to something that can produce result for me. Because you see some persons that will tell you, I just entered this new business, or I just entered into this new industry, and within 6 months, everything blew up. No, it was not like that. That's not the whole truth. The truth is that there is another area where the person has been growing competence. But for some reason or the other, that particular area could not produce results exactly as it was intended. But that area introduced this person to this new opportunity, and he just went in there with the accumulated experience and effort from this other end, and he succeeded. So whatever you have chosen to do, keep getting better at it, keep working at it, keep improving, keep learning about it. That is how you're going to allow the law of compounded effort to work in your favor. If there is an area of your life that you want to improve, but you're not making effort, you're not deliberately learning and getting better in that area, remember that the area is also compounding, but in this instance, it's going to compound against you. And you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want life compounding against you. You don't want life working against you. Let me just put it that way. You want life to work for you. You want life to work in your favor. That should be your desire. That should be your utmost desire, and that should be what you should work towards. That you put yourself in a position where life really works for you and not against you. And how you do that is to make sure that every day you put in some effort. Every day. Not some days. Not on the days you feel like it. I mean, everybody can do great things on the day he feels like it. Everybody, right? Everybody can do great things on the day he feels good. Like, there is no who in this life is not inspired and oriented on the day he feels motivated. Everybody does that. Everybody, the day you feel motivated, you do things. The real test of interest, right? The real test of interest is what you do on the days you don't feel like it. On the days you don't feel like it. Like tonight, I must let you know that I did not feel like coming. I did not feel like coming for this class, right? I was not in the mood for this class in any way, form, or shape. In fact, there were so many reasons why I wasn't supposed to come. There were so many things, so many odds were against me, right? I was not motivated. I was not inspired. There was just nothing. But you know what? I had to override my system. I had to override my desire. I had to override my interest to show up. Even if it's only one person that joins me in the live session, I must show up. Now, I'm not showing up necessarily because of the number of people that join me. I am showing up to honor my commitment to myself and the commitment I have made to the community that I am leading, that I'm going to show up with value. I'm going to show up to share things with the community that I don't share with the outsiders. So as a member of the community, you get to know some things about my work and my thoughts that can help you in an exceptional way that other people cannot easily get access to, right? That is my commitment for leading the community, right? So even though I wasn't feeling like it, I just still had to find a way to make it happen. If you look at, I'm doing this video not from my office, I'm doing this video from my bedroom, right? Because I just did not feel like living here. But I had to do what? I had to get the things inside here, lock myself in, and God still had to find a way to get the job done. Okay? So the law of compounding of effort has to work for you. Because at the end of the day, it is the things that you have consistently done that will add up to produce a result. So if you don't like the result that you're experiencing in a particular area of your life, look at what you have been compounding over the years. Okay? Look at what you have been compounding over the years. And the dangerous thing is that even when you're not looking, these laws are working. Even when you're not looking, these laws are working. They are working. They are working in the back end. They are working. Right? So trust the process, trust the laws, trust the principle that, yeah, even when it doesn't seem like it, something is going on, right? Even when it seems like you're not making any impact, even when it seems like, oh, nobody's seeing me, even when it seems like, oh, I'm not reaching enough people, keep showing up. You need to understand that your part and the part of others are not the same, right? Some person's effort compounds in 1 year. Some people compounds in 6 months. Some people compounds in 10 years. Some people compounds in 50 years. Some people's effort even compound when they are dead. Have you not noticed that there are some people that became popular, prominent? People started discovering their thoughts. People started discovering them when they died. Have you not seen that? I've seen it a lot of times. That I was like, why didn't I hear about this person when he was alive? Why is everybody now talking about this person? Because he's dead. In fact, in your course area, whatever be the subject you're studying in school, most of the theories and philosophies that that serve as the foundation of the ideology that you're following are thoughts and theories of people that are dead. When those people were alive, writing those things, propounding those theories and publishing those ideas, people were not paying attention to them. It is when they died that they compounded. So the question is not whether things will compound. Surely they will compound, but make sure they compound in your favor, right? Make sure they compound in your favor, because what matters is that at the end of the day, we can have something we can point to and say that this was your creation. Because remember that as a wealthy professional, you are a person who is committed to bringing excellence to your divine expression in this life. Okay? You're a person who is committed to bringing excellence to your divine expression in this life. So I don't know if there's any question. I don't know if there's any question. Wana, hey, good evening. Thank you for showing off, sir. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate. Um, Joseph, at every point in time, things are compounding in your favor or against you. Yes, that's it. Things are always compounding. It's a law. Okay, so I don't know if anyone has a question or anything to say so far. You can just put it in the comment section, so that we can look at it together. Okay, so that's the message I wanted to share with us today. I wanted to introduce us to these fundamental laws. So you're going to look at what you have heard now, see how you're going to sit down with yourself and begin to reevaluate what you have been doing so far, right? Look at the results that you have and see if the results don't add up. If the results don't add up, ask yourself, which of these laws am I breaking, right? Is it the law of entropy? Is the law of entropy working against me because I am not intentionally focused on the things that I want? Okay. Or is it inertia because, I'm not doing anything and I left this side? So, of course, inertia would introduce entropy, right? Because you're not doing anything in that area begins to experience entropy, begins to decay because nothing remains the same, even if it is left the same. That's something I want you to remember again. Nothing remains the same, even if it stays the same. Nothing remains the same. Look at it, for example, if you buy a Rolls Royce, right? If you buy a Rolls Royce right now and you park it in your garage, you don't drive it, you don't move it, you don't do anything, you just park the beautiful machine in your garage, okay? And you leave it there. Every day you look at that car, the car looks the same. Every day you look at that car, the car looks the same. It looks as beautiful, it looks fine, it's okay, right? But the day you want to use that car, you'll find out that the car is no longer the same. You'll find out that the car is no longer the same. The car has gone bad. The car has gone bad due to lack of use, right? So nothing remains the same, even if it stays in the same place. Nothing remains the same, even if it stays the same. So you can look at your life and think that your life is in order, right? But your life is no longer the same if you're not doing anything about it. If you're not doing anything about it, bro, let me give you an instance. Let me give you a practical instance with my own life. You see, I left when I went to do my postgraduate. I went to do masters in Babcock University. Before I went back to do a postgraduate, I had been out of school for like 13 years thereabouts. Before I went back to do a postgraduate, I had the time between when I went to do a postgraduate and when I left university, like when I had my undergraduate, was about 13 years apart. Now, when I went back to school to do a postgraduate, there was a guy in my class. This guy, who was in my class as my classmate, was a small boy. Like, he was a very small boy in my local church when I was in secondary school. He was a kid. He was in the children's department. It was just a very little boy, right? He was a little boy. Now, 13 years apart between when I left university and when I went back to do a postgraduate, if I had not waited for that long, that boy wouldn't have become my classmate. No. Like, there's anything wrong with him being my classmate. You will always meet younger people in any place you go to. But that was a very particular experience. When I saw him as my classmate, I knew that this is wrong. Right? This is wrong. It's just a function of the fact that I did not do what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it. That's one. Secondly, is that 13 years apart from undergraduates and postgraduates, if I had not waited for that long, I would have had 2 masters and 2 PhD. 2 masters and 2 PhD. If you do masters for 2 years each, that's 6 years. If you do PhD for 4 years, that's 8 years, right? So 8 plus 6, thereabout. That's about. So I would have had at least 1 PhD and 2 masters, right? 1 PhD and 2 masters. So if you do masters for 2 years, that's 4 years. You do PhD, that's 4 years, right? Total of 8 years. You still have, probably I would have been rounding off my second PhD. So even though Nothing changed academically, certificate wise. I was okay. Of course, I'm a very smart person, right? I remain the same. But when I went back into the system, I realized that I was no longer the same. I was now in a class competing with people that I wasn't supposed to be competing with. I was not competing with them because we were supposed to be together at that moment. I was with them because I did not do what I was supposed to do, and things changed, even though that it looked as if things were the same. So whatever you have to do, do it fast, right? Whatever you have to do it fast so that you can have the results that you want to have. So check if that is working against you. Then look at your energy level. Are you always the person that, every time you're tired, I don't have energy, I'm so weak, my legs can't move? When you're walking on the road, you'll be walking sluggishly, like the whole world is pausing and waiting for you to move. You want to enter. That's why I love Lagos, right? That's why I love Lagos. I love Lagos because of I've stayed in so many other parts of Nigeria, but I love Lagos a lot. As a young person, I think you should be living in Lagos. Okay? I think you should be living in Lagos. Because what happens is that if you live in Lagos, you will either decide to have energy and be active to get what you want, or life will obviously push you to the corner, and you will know that the reason why I am on this side is because of the fact that I have refused to apply energy to the things I'm doing. There are some cities and some states in Nigeria that you be in, even when you don't have energy, the system still rewards you. Even when you're not active, the system still rewards you, right? But in Lagos, the system cannot reward you if you don't have activities going on, if you don't have energy, because everything has to be actively done. If you want to talk fast, because if you don't talk fast, people don't move on. They've left you and started focusing on something else. If you want to move fast, because if you don't move fast, people will chance you, and so you have to apply the law of energy in your favor. Then look at what is compounding in your life, because nothing is left empty. See that something is compounding in your favor or something is compounding against you. Are things compounding in your favor or are things compounding against you? So these are the laws. You have to look at them for yourself and see how you can begin to apply them. What's the total fee for the School of Money and Investment? 120K. The total investment for the school is 120,000, but you can make a deposit of 20K, or whichever amount you have with you, make a deposit of that and pay instrumentally. Before the class starts in December, you would have finished paying. Is there a book? Yeah, so we are working on a book. The book will be out soon, right? The book will be out soon where we have that. But you can also, of course, watch the replay of this and read your notes as well. I'll be having further conversations in regards to that. So that's it. The announcement is that next week we are getting into the conversation around purpose, right? Purpose. And by the last weekend in the month of July, we are going to have a workshop. We're going to have a masterclass, Purpose to Money Masterclass, right? How do you discover your purpose and work from a place of your purpose to your financial prosperity? How do you blend both of them? Because the truth is that your purpose is not meant to make you rich. The idea of purpose is not to make you rich, but your purpose comes with things that if you actively engage them, you'll be rich. And the idea is for you to be rich and the idea is for you to be rich and fulfilled. And the only thing that will bring you fulfillment is when you play from a place of your purpose. The only thing that will make your money interesting to you, right, to make and to enjoy, is if you make your money playing from the place of your purpose. We are going to be having that conversation in the Purpose to Money Masterclass, and that is be happening on the last Sunday in July. And the registration has opened for that. Registration is just 10,500 naira, right? Everything we do here is subsidized, so that you don't have money will not be a reason why you're not involved. So it's going to be just 10,500 naira. If you want to be a part of that workshop last Sunday in July, you can send me a DM on WhatsApp, and we'll give details. Other details for the class will come out within the week as well. And our subsequent classes will also hammer more on those aspects of purpose and purpose discovery and all of that. But on the workshop, we will go very deep, right? We'll go very deep to look at things the way we haven't really looked at them before, so that you can have clarity that others don't have. And you'll also be able to look at your work and evaluate what the work you're doing, the value you're creating in line with what your purpose is supposed to be and what you're supposed to contribute to this world. Because your purpose is ultimately what you were designed for, right? The design that your maker gave you as your own way of making a contribution on this earth. There is something that you're meant to design. There is something you're meant to contribute in this world. You're not careless. You are not a careless design. God deliberately designed you for contribution. There is something that you came with that you're meant to impact in this world. You're not supposed to leave this world without doing it. But if you don't know what that is, if you don't know how to discover it, and if you don't know how to play it, you're not going to do that. And also, if you discover how to live your purpose and what you do, but you don't know how to monetize it, you don't know how to build an enterprise around it, you are also going to struggle, right? So that will be what we'll be discussing in the workshop. So if you're interested in that kind of conversation, you want to go deeper, you want to learn, you can sign up for the workshop. It's just 10,500 naira. Okay. So thank you for coming to class today. Appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for joining us, spending your time with me. I appreciate you. That's the end of the class, and I want to wish you the best of the new week as you go to work, go to your business place, do whatever you have to do. I pray that the Lord will bless the works of your hands. I pray that you find speed. I pray that the laws of life, as we have discussed them, will not work against you, but they work in your favor. I pray that everything you touch your hand will prosper. And I pray that the Lord will bless you and enlighten your coast and enlarge your coast while enlightening your path. Thank you for being a part of Creation Hub community. Thank you for being a part of the workshop. Thank you for being a part of everything that we do and everything that we represent here. God bless you. And don't forget, invite someone to the community. Okay? Send the link to the community to someone to join us. If you have found a place where something interesting is being shared, it is only decent for you to bring those that you care about into that space. So bring your loved ones into the Creation Hub community so that we can all grow together and get better together. Thank you. And until I see you again next week, keep having yourself an awesome time. God bless you.